how to be held arose for me and Katya. This need, I guess, to restore safety and trust in the body and in relationship. I believe it's true for both of us that pushing in many areas of our life no longer works, and that our body at least is asking for new levels of softness in order to regulate itself, and I would say also to create from. And at least in our exploration of our connection and in connection with others, it has to feel safe as a starting point. It's no longer negotiable somehow. And this rest, not as a response to burnout, but essential part in the way we create a starting point from which we allow other things to unfold in our lives. And we spent very many pleasant hours in the womb pool, holding each other and exploring physically and emotionally, of course, what was showing up in this being held, and perhaps exploring expressing the needs also. And many, many conversations that followed after that. So it wasn't just the sessions in the pool, but how can what we were experiencing in the pool become a way of living life on land? And to really stand for that and guard that. And just even showing this video, you know, how vulnerable it is, how delicate it is, how soft it is. And how nourishing. And wanting to preserve it and maintain it and continue to explore. And so the theme, we knew already that we wanted to explore something together. And when we put it into words, it showed up as a need that we identified not just for us, but I think many human beings right now on the planet are looking for that. Especially in a world that is becoming increasingly harsh. We had a lot of laughter as well. And I remember this moment, there was one moment where Katya sort of came out of her process with her hand on her chin as if she was thinking, you know, she was born in deep contemplation. And we really enjoyed ourselves. This was last summer. And this is how the seed was planted. So this retreat is not about fixing or Katya and me kind of telling you what you need or what you shouldn't need or how it should be, but exploring deeper, each and every one of us, what feeling safe in the body and to be held means for us, what we need individually, and how to hold that perhaps also collectively, if we arrive at that, but that's for sure the exploration. So here I thought maybe Katja could share a little bit about her background, and then I can share a little bit about my approach before we go into the more kind of practicals of place. Katja, do you feel like saying a little bit here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just kind of feeling into, because there was water in the presentation, but I'd like to also mention that there is land, there is nature, there are trees, there is the sky, animals, and it's also a safe container, like to explore and be creating this safe space on land. My background is that I'm a therapist, I'm a somatics practitioner, and I work a lot with the movement, with body work, with couples. So my approach is about like really restoring the patterns of our perhaps not so positive experiences in our lives and repatterning them into safe and joyful ways to live. So finding the liveliness in the body, finding the liveliness in the thoughts, finding the liveliness in connections. Yeah, I think this is what I am practicing for myself and in my life. And this is what I'm sharing in private sessions with groups and in friendships and personal relationships. So this is it. A lot of rest, a lot of nice food, a lot of personal yes and personal no's to practice and to create that joyful experience. So yeah, this is what I'm sort of imagining for this time together in the retreat.
Thank you, Katja. Let's say my focus the past 15 years in warm water has been how our experience of being born has impacted our capacity to engage with life, to engage with others. I've worked in birth spaces and with newborn babies in the water. So let's say my sensitivity and gentleness and depth come from that space and my need to honor that space in me and in others before even doing, but being, and finding the capacity to verbalize, to own that sensitivity and to verbalize the needs that arise from it. So that at least my practice is to live my life and be in relationships and to unfold my work in a way that I can honor that part of me, that can also be part of the way that I show up. And I believe we're at a point where, and I'm seeing by the people that are attracted to this course, that we all have experience one way or another, and we're all bringing that. So for me, this space with Katja, I don't see it as a training or telling each other what to do or not to do, but as a safe, gentle space to practice living life within that gentle restorative space. And of course, if patterns show up, we're here to name them and to see what it is that we do need and to be able to ask for it clearly. And I guess my work has been with couples preparing for birth, but I've also worked with couples in the sense of twinning relationships prenatally, which tend to be very deep and merged relationships, and how I find individuation. And in that space, there is a sort of gender neutral. So when the question of, oh, is this a women's retreat, showed up, I think it was important for both of us that, any gender is welcome. And in that, this gentleness and restoring safe spaces is for each and every one of us. And of course, there is the freedom to say yes, no, maybe later. I feel complete at this part. I don't know if maybe it's best to leave questions to the end, unless someone kind of has a burning question now. How do we feel? Keep going. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. I'm realizing that I don't know about Oksana, but you all know this place better than me. And in pre and perinatal aquatics, place is fundamental to where we choose to be born. And so this past winter was really checking out containers where let's say the gentleness of this work can be held safely. And this is spending time with Katya in Budapest. Katya introduced me to Nikki, and we visited NapMajor. And this is when the kind of, the seed sprouted. It became a real possibility. I think, Katya, you had been before. And when I heard Nikki really speaking about her project, it really touched me deeply in the combination of energies that unfold in the space. But what for me was the real yes was when I visited NapMajor, my belly relaxed even more. There was really a sense of expansion, not in capacity necessarily, but here we can really, allow these themes to unfold even more without bumping into a neighbor or another sort of energetic field. So personally, I'm very much looking forward to this space. Which has the water, the warm water, but also has the forest. Because, like Katya said, we're born to live life on earth. And how to work with water to bring that softness that I think we all remember, how to bring it onto land and live life from that. And it seems that that is becoming a rebellion in itself. I will live life from that space. A house in the middle of the forest where you can be yourself. And then that's the description on the website. And it was like, yeah. So we had a place which also has a yurt, and I believe it's going to have a dome also soon. This is a different angle from the pool. This is one of the rooms with the shared single beds. So we will start, or we will gather at 10 a.m. on Thursday, on the 14th of May, where we will start with an opening circle. And we know that we will close on Sunday, the 17th, by 6 o'clock with a closing circle. And we have, of course, the theme of to be held. And we have themes that we would like to share, but really to respect this process of allowing. So there isn't a rigid program, but we will, I think, allow for questions and go into that a little bit more. And the cost of the retreat includes the program, the food, and the accommodation, not the transport or the flights or individual sessions in this time. And we hope that you will learn to recognize what safety feels like in the body. To strengthen our boundaries, but not isolating ourselves. To stay sort of buoyant within the connection and to experience connection without losing ourselves. And to calibrate our nervous systems through rest and attunement with nature. And I would add to engage as much as you want and to disengage. And I think NapMajor gives us enough space for us to do that with, I think we have a maximum capacity of 14 people, max. So I think that is, relative to the size of the place, enough to give us all a sense of privacy if we need it, and togetherness as well. So we don't need to be in crisis to seek these spaces, but to be ready to really slow down and to listen, not just a retreat, but as a way of adding that in our way of living. These are both mine and Katya's details, so whoever you feel easiest to contact and communicate with. The retreat will be in English, but I believe both Katya and me are able to support you if you speak a different language or you feel your English is not up to scratch. But I really believe we will be largely in a non-verbal space. And there is a registration form which allows us to kind of start developing a picture of who's joining and what their needs are. I know that some of you have already filled it out. So yeah, at this point, the presentation per se is complete. So I'm going to stop sharing.